Good afternoon. The board chair of the Public Procurement Authority, Basil Ahiabil, says the government is moving to tighten Ghana's procurement regime with a bill before Parliament to curb the misuse of single-source contracting under the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663. Speaking after receiving a delegation from the Lesotho Public Procurement Authority, he said the authority is working with the Ministry of Finance to review key provisions of the law, particularly sections 40 and 41, which govern single-source procurement. He noted that while the Act allows single sourcing under exceptional circumstances, vague interpretations, especially around what qualifies as urgent, have created loopholes. He is confident the proposed amendments will remove ambiguities, strengthen oversight, and align procurement processes with public expectations once passed.
Section 40 of the Acts of the law mandates the Public Procurement Authority to approve single and sole sourcing based on certain preconditions. 23 years down the line after promulgating this act, obviously there will be loopholes, there will be gaps, there will be issue with even interpretation. And that is what the board has recommended. And working with the Honorable Minister, a bill has been forwarded to Parliament to redefine what agency is. Under Section 41B, it talks about agency. What is really urgent? Those are the issues. And that is the section that mostly others would want to come. Budgetary pressures, late releases. There's an entity that comes and says, look, we just had our release, and that if you want to go the full haul, you will not be able to complete before the year. But we know the law also says that if by the end of the year you've not received and paid for, you lose that budget. So the interpretation has been very hazy, and there were times as a board we struggled to give meaning to it. This bill is going to finalize it without any debate what an urgent situation will be. And once that is done, the board will be so guided and ensure that we work within the new definition of agency. And I think it's going to be good for all of us. The concerns, yes, we have seen, which is right, but the law is the law. If the interpretation is the problem, that is what we are seeking to cure. And once that is done, we would be seen to be meeting the aspirations of the people of Ghana.
Let's get talking. And Collins Agyemang-Sarpong is a procurement expert. He's joining me on Zoom right now for more on this. Welcome to the program. You've heard the new proposals. What loopholes in Public Procurement Act 2003 do you think have enabled abuse of single-source contracting that has resulted in this bill before Parliament? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you.
Yes, hello.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. I think the Section 40B, as our chairman mentioned, is supposed, it is clear anyway, but I think he is in the steering wheel, in front of the steering wheel, and I know that there is some gaps in terms of people justifying for single source. When you look at the 40B, it's clear. If there's a catastrophic something, there's a force majeure, there's the issue is something, let's say you have a refugee broken up you can now go and request for single source. But I think where he sits is a bit difficult. I heard him saying that people can just say, my budget was just approved, and the budget got approved in November. And by 31st December, if you've not exhausted your spend, it means that it goes back to chest. So you see that in practice, a lot of people try to seek single source or sole source usage in somewhere from September to December, because usually the budgets are released somewhere mid-year or third quarter. So everybody speedily want to come and seek single source for the procurement authority to approve, so that they will quickly be able to procure those items. So I think it's in order that the chairman is calling for the reinterpretation. But for me, it is clear. I mean, if something is urgent, it's urgent. But you cannot, if you talk of even, you cannot buy toners and a certificate of emergency. But I think their hands are tied because of the time that the budgets are released and all. So hence, they want to play it safe for the law to interpret what is an urgency or an item that should be bought at the certificate of urgency.
Right.
But for me, it is clear. In section 40B, it is clear. When something is emergency, you should be able to deduce. But it's all okay. They should go and redefine it so that we can now get a better reason for us to apply the single or the sole source. Because it's a method in procurement. Single source, you can never really, and there will be a day that you have to. Like COVID came, you cannot use 3 months to go and get COVID vaccine. You have to just go in for that. If there is a disaster, NADMO, we had tidal waves and all that, that one should. So definitely there will be a certificate of emergency in procurement. But I think people were just using it. We were using it too much, and it became an open check for the businesses. So let's go back and redefine and put more reasons and more definition to what is an emergency. I think it's in right, so that everybody will be covered. They will cover themselves. The PPA will cover themselves, and the procurement entities too. They will not come, because when you know that what you want to do, it is not defined in law, then PPA can cover themselves and say that we cannot approve because of A, B, C. So I think it's a strategy to cover the board. Right. Because, you know, it's coming from government, minister is coming hard, you know, so let's allow the PPA to cover themselves, because at times we all go back to them as practitioners and chastise them that they shouldn't have approved. But hey, it's quite difficult sitting in his chair and not having any word defining the urgency or emergency. So they should go and do further definition. We are all here, because as for single source, we cannot take it out. Because I remember recently, I think the president of the country mentioned that should we even remove it, but from the practice side, you cannot remove it. Let's go further and define, so that if it is not in the law, PPA will not approve, then they will be safe.
Collins, what immediate impact will these reforms have on transparency and value for money?
I feel that so that no entity will just look, from practice, usually from at times we have a procurement plan, okay? As of January, they will plan for emergency procurement or single source. January, we see a lot of procurement plans, And as of January, they have decided that as for this item, we will buy it single source without any proper definition. So when it is getting to the time, they just write a letter to PPA using emergency, using all kinds of reasons for PPA to approve it for them. So for me, once it is defined, what is an emergency is defined. It gives PPA the power to say no or yes. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
To cover themselves, they the PPA themselves, because I know at times where the single source requests are coming from, it holds some power. They will say power from above, or power from above, you can't say you will not sign. And I think one thing that we need to also get for our board, PPA, they should be an independent body, like the way SHRAJ and EC, that power they have, they should give PPA that power as well, because they go, it means that you can be moved tomorrow. So they are also being careful. Everybody needs to have bread on their table. So either we take them, we give them the EC powers, as the Article 71 people, so that they will be independent. But now, the way it is, they can be appoint and disappoint. Right. So they need to also protect themselves using the law. Thank you.
Collins, what enforcement gaps do you think exist within the Public Procurement Authority?
Enforcement gap, come again.
What enforcement gaps? What do you think is being the difficulty in enforcing some of these laws within the Public Procurement Authority?
I think Public Procurement Authority should be an independent body. But the way the appointment is, President appoints the chairperson, President appoints the CEO, and even the Minister of Finance technically has big power over the two gentlemen, over the chairman and the CEO. Okay, if that office can be independent office, I think it will give them the strength to be able to enforce some of the requests that come to them. But the way it is, they are not independent. They are not.
And you think that's hampering their work?
Their position, the bosses can just appoint and disappoint. And that makes that office a bit weaker in terms of standing on themselves. Yes.
Right. And final one, how do you think Ghana as a country can balance speed and accountability when it comes to procurement?
Well, there's something. I was the former president of Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply. In fact, we have drafted our practicing law. It was part of the last memo that was written by, I think, majority leader to the speaker. Our bill was part of it. Because now we are all procurement practitioners. We cannot sanction any of our members.
Right.
We cannot even sanction how to join the procurement profession as a fraternity. Okay? And even appointments, people are having certain qualifications and they are practicing procurement, right? So one, the practicing bill for the practitioners, it should be passed. Okay, it should be passed, and if PPA can be made an independent body, not that they are the beck and call of the appointing authority, president, minister, and all. So, practitioners' bill should be approved by Parliament. It's been going back and forth. They should pass it so that we, the members, we can sanction some of our members, so that if they breach, we can say we can take your license from you. You cannot become a procurement practitioner anymore. We are here to get there. Okay, we are here to get there, and the body PPA should be an independent constitutional or something body,
right,
so that they will be independent enough, so that the procurement practitioner too can be independent enough to say no to certain things. In practice, it's quite difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
Governments have come and gone. Why do you think none of them have ever thought of making the PPA an independent body?
When they make it independent body, I think we will be too strong. They cannot break us, and therefore leave them like the way they are, and let's run around with them. But I feel if PPA becomes independent body, they will be strong in themselves. And if the practitioners, our bill is also passed for us, we can also sanction our own self. There are other, you cannot practice engineering without having a certification, okay? Even the law. At first, we were having quack doctors, but they will smoke you out. Lawyers, if we all hear when a fake lawyer can go to court, once you are found out, you will be blown out. So you can't go to court if you are not a lawyer. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
But now we have accountants, we have HR, we have some engineers, we have some HR people. Everybody, they are all practicing procurement. They are all practicing procurement.
Right.
And I've been in such meetings, and you see people gagging against you.
Collins,
procurement.
Right. Collins Ajiman Sapon, thank you very much for your expertise. He's a procurement expert. Parliament's Public Account Committee, PAC, has commenced the second zonal public hearing in the Ashanti region to examine findings contained in the 2024 report of the Auditor General. The hearings, which focus on district assemblies and public schools, are aimed at scrutinizing financial irregularities and ensuring accountability in the use of public funds. Officials from various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, as well as heads of public, basic and secondary schools, are expected to appear before the committee to respond to audit queries. And this afternoon, the Dwaboso Municipal Chief Executive and the Municipal Financial Officer appeared before the committee to respond to financial irregularities identified by the Auditor General's Department. Let's cross over live to Kumasi, where my colleague Nana Boachi Yadom has been monitoring proceedings. Nana, bring us up to speed with what has been happening.
Well, Kenneth, it's been a long day for the Public Parliament Accounts Committee, considering the Auditor General's report 2024 for some municipal assemblies and then also for some public schools. They're sitting in this particular zone, which is being held in the Ashanti region, is beginning today and is expected to end on Friday. We've had several municipal chief executives with their financial officers come along with them. And in the early mornings, we had the Dwaboso municipality starting with us, identifying some form of irregularities, which PAC has questioned them about, and then they are supposed to make some form of submissions to the Public Accounts Committee before the hearing ends on Friday. Currently, we have the municipal chief executive for Akontombra, Seshi Akontombra, seated on over there, and then we have a municipal financial officer also joining him, responding to some financial irregularities spotted by the auditors when they went through their checks. As I speak to you, he's answering questions about some structure that has been left to rot for so many months now. According to the Public Accounts Committee, the Auditor General realized that this particular structure was about 90% complete. But then since the Municipal Chief Executive Officer took over, the building has been left to rot. The questions or the answers that he's been given is that since a new member of parliament took over from the outborn MP, this particular building has not been able to be reached out because the MP himself made resources available to it. But then with the new member of parliament, there's not been any resources made available to this particular structure. And so it's form of deformity that has been identified by the Auditor General. Can I say that with the questions that are being answered right now, we can cross over inside to listen to proceedings?
I mean, that vehicle was fuel at amounting to the cost of 500.
Honorable Chair, it was the election task force team. There's somebody.
We know it's election. Don't be mentioning election task force. We know that is it. Just go straight to the point and answer.
No, somebody was given that mandate to ensure that fuels that are allocated for the various departments are given to them. And so somebody was there that will say, okay, give this amount of fuel to this vehicle, this amount of fuel to this vehicle. But they didn't sign anything, I'm sure.
So were the vehicles your vehicles, or they were vehicles from the various institutions? Say the police, army, they all had their own vehicles?
They were the vehicles from various institutions.
As far as I know, in the 2024 elections too, monies were given to these institutions to fuel their vehicles for elections. So for you to also come and sit here and say that you gave monies to the police, the army, and they did not even sign off when they went for this fuel, because I was at the Ministry of Finance, so I know what I'm talking about.
Honorable Chair, I am not bantering that, but really, the district had an election task force that was formed by DISEC, and allocations were made for fuel for these security or departments in the within the assembly who were part of the election task force. Thank you, sir.
And they went in for the fuel without any signing off, just that they have been allocated 6,000, so they go and take to the tune of 6,000, and that's it. That's not proper accountability. I hope moving forward you will not be cited for these infractions, because these explanations are not, they are not right. And it is okay for you to come, sit here and explain and go away. But it is not okay for your image and your integrity.
So I want to find out from, apart from this security, the election task force, during the electioneering activities, were your vehicles also cited for this infraction?
Yes, I mentioned it earlier that our vehicles were cited.
So why are you bothering us as if it's only the security people whose car were? Why are you behaving as if your cars were not parts? It's only the security agency. Do the needful, and you are under oath. Do the needful.
You earlier told us that you have evidence that some supporting documents were given to the auditors. And you said when you replied to the management letter, it was included in it. Have you found that report here?
Honorable Chair, for the PWDs, the 14,000 that you spoke about is here.
We're talking about unsupported documents that you claimed you gave to the auditors. And that when you replied to the management letter, you wrote in it that you have those and you gave that to the auditors. The document that you have you found it? The document that you were looking for, have you found it?
Yes, Honorable Chair, please, with the greatest of respect, I am not doing this to do anything against the other, but then why
are you suspicious about anything?
Yes.
You said they had the doc.
Yes.
Have you found it?
Yes, this is a management letter that was given to us.
Yes. And your reply to it?
Yes, I'm getting because I'm being interviewed, I'm getting the responses that we gave to them. However, sorry. Yes, that's the period.
Do you have the supporting documents there?
No. Do you have the letter that you wrote? The responses to the management letter?
No.
I thought you were looking for it 2 or 3 questions ago.
Yes, I had the management letter. I'm now looking for the response. If it's here, I will get it.
Look, let me give you this encouragement. If you don't find it, you are not leaving here today. You will stand at the corner and look for it until you find it. If not, we are closing with you. Let's go to the next infraction. It's on paragraph 744, and Honorable Frankie Ebua will take care of that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, MC.
Honorable.
And I'm still coming back to Zoom Lion. Your outfit had an agreement with Zoom Lion Ghana for the supply and maintenance of refuse containers and refuse truck. According to the audit report, 5 of these containers were damaged and 1 refuse truck was also broken down. But you failed to invoke clause 3D of the agreement to call on Zoom Lion to repair the 5 damaged refuse containers and the truck for you, depriving the people of Acheampong the use of these items. What's your explanation? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, when I assumed office, I got to know of this information. So their second quarter payment was withheld. That so they provide those containers. I'm not going to honor the payment, and up to date I haven't done that. And they've provided those containers. And with the car, I think there is a zonal one at Piabo, so they used to come to Acheampong. So I called on the regional director to come so that we'll sit down and talk about the issues going forward. So we are yet to do that.
You like sitting down to talk when it comes to other things, but I couldn't sit down to look at the building that is 92% complete. You rush Yoko. Why? Anyway, Chairman, I'm done. I'm done.
Lion, do you have a comment?
Honorable Chair, respectfully, we have supplied 4 new containers to make 9 containers required in all the district allocated container sites as per the contract. We have also supplied 1 new zonal truck to conduct the service. Thank you.
Zoom Lion, just the 4 containers that you say you have replaced, when were they delivered to the assembly?
So, Honorable Chair, October last year, they were delivered.
All right. Sefia Acheampong, there were some taxes. Failure to deduct and remit taxes. What has happened to it now?
Honorable Chair, all the taxes have been remitted to the GRM.
Okay. Auditors, could you confirm, please?
Yes, Honorable Chair, confirmed.
All right. It's interesting that Sefia Acheampong, you wrote to Yoko. Maybe we need to call Yoko as a committee. Have you found the information that you said you had? I could make it easy for you just to ask you to refund the money out of your pocket, and then we don't have to be waiting for all these things. I could make it easy for you. Take your poison.
Honorable Chair, with the greatest of regret, I would want to
speak into the mic.
I would want to apologize for the wasting of your time and all these things. In fact, these infractions were committed by us at the time. However, we provided the supporting documents and it featured in the management letter, and also we gave it to the auditors and they verified. So that is
that. The question is, what is your proof? No. Okay, you know what? You are discharged pending the information that you're going to give us. So we are waiting. And we are also waiting on Joaboso. Yes. Thank you.
Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I would want to come in to sincerely apologize on behalf of my colleague, Finance Officer. If you could give us some more time to look for the document so that we can produce it to the committee.
What do you mean by more time? Didn't you hear him this morning that he said he had the documents over there? It was between him and then the auditors. The auditors, you heard them say that they didn't have these documents at the time of the audit. He said he had it, and then he spoke to them about it. It was in the management letter. And when he replied to the management letter, he had it all over there. Imagine if we didn't have auditors to be auditing the ministries, departments, and agencies. Goodness, we'll all be like fish in the ocean. So you are discharged until he finds it. Thank you very much.
Those are live visuals from Kumasi in the Ashanti region there. It's a developing story that we will definitely be bringing you more in our subsequent bulletins. But in the meantime, local government, chieftaincy and religious affairs minister Ahmed Ibrahim says more than half of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in Ghana failed in a nationwide assessment covering the 2024 performance year, the final year of the Akufo-Addo administration. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, he revealed that out of 261 assemblies assessed, 143 failed to meet the required mark, with only 118 achieving a pass. He noted that the minimum pass mark for the evaluation was set at 36%. The minister also criticized the previous government's management of the local governance system, describing it as ineffective and leaving behind a weakened decentralized structure.
You build their capacity. They did it up to 2023, up to 2022, and they couldn't do it in 2023. So and because of that, all the donor partners who were supporting Ghana's decentralization said, if you can't help yourself, we will not help you. So they were all withdrawing. Once one of the assembly members became the president, in 2025, President Mahama charged us to assess the district assemblies in 2024, how they did the work in 2024. And I'm happy to announce to you that in 2025, we were able to reset the decentralization concept of the district assemblies in 2024. And in the assessment, after the 261 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, 143 of them failed. and 118 of them passed. The pass marks was 36 over 100. So it tells you, when I gave the narrative, the preamble, that the assembly concept was characterized by a dysfunctioning local governance system, these are the records. And we did not assess them alone. We did the assessment with the KfW, Bank of Germany, and the Swiss State of Economic Affairs, SECO, the Switzerland ambassador and the German ambassador, together with the Interministerial Coordinating Committee, the Ministry of Local Government, the head of service, the Institute of Local Government Studies, with a combined team, did the assessment, and it was digital. So even in my own region, out of the 12 districts, only 5 passed. In Northern region, where my chief director comes from, out of the 16 districts, only 8 passed. Most assemblies failed than those that passed. And this is not the assessment of the John Mahama's MMDCEs. This assessment was the previous year. The last batch of Akufo-Addo's MMDCEs were assessed, and 143 of them failed, 118 of them passed.
Ahmed Ibrahim further disclosed that 362 million Ghana cedis was disbursed to the assemblies in 2024 through the District Assembly's Common Fund. However, he indicated that the situation has significantly improved in 2025 under the President Mahama-led administration, with total disbursements rising to 5 billion cedis for assemblies nationwide.
However, in the annual action plan that was provided to us, out of the 522, 494 are being built and at various stages of completion. Then the school compounds, the school blocks, 761 classroom blocks are at various stages of completion. The boreholes, about 4,029 boreholes are being drilled. Then on the legacy project, 2,755 legacy projects, which are currently at various stages of completion, are all ongoing. Suffice to note that 8 years, 2017 to 2024, total DACF releases per previous administration to the MMDAs from 2017 to 2024, the total releases was 17 billion. 2017 to 2024, total releases was 17 billion. Comparatively, 4 years projected disbursement under His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama government will be more than the amount in 8 years under the previous administration. Additionally, the ministry has secured parliamentary approval for 8.7 billion for 2026 fiscal year to be disbursed. And let me tell you, the actual releases, actual disbursement for the 2017 to 2024 was 17 billion. 1 year alone, President Mahama disbursed 6.3 billion. Disbursed how much? 6.3 billion. 1 year. And this was for last year, 2025. From 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, the total disbursement was 17 billion. For 2025 alone, 6 billion. Compare the two, and you know the better managers of the Ghanaian economy.
Well, the minister also says Parliament's Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee will meet on April 23rd to deliberate on the anti-gay bill, emphasizing that it is a private member's bill, and urged that the president should not be drawn into the matter.
We wanted 8 people to sign the LGBTQ in the 7th Parliament, in the 8th Parliament. And we were 4 MPP, 4 NDC. Felix, listen to this. By the time we got to the venue, the 3 MPP MPs ran away. We needed to call 3 other NDC MPs to be added to the 4, for the NDC MPs to be 7. And then Reverend Intim Fojo, he was a Reverend minister. He was one of the 4. So he joined the 7 NDC to pass it to be 8-8, to be 7-1. And we got it passed. So if today some party is saying that, oh, they will take political opportunity, that political opportunity they are looking for is dead and gone. And let nobody bring the president in. It was us. We initiated it. I can mention the long history. So I went to the president, and I'm soldiering. I went to the president on this. That's why I've not spoken. And I went to the speaker on this. I know where we are. And the pastors come to me on this. I know where we are. When you are in the field, you act. You don't talk. Where are we? Today is 23rd. The Constitutional and Legal Committee of Parliament are meeting on it. I know every stage and every process. It is not the executive that does that. It is a private member's bill. And therefore, what the president said was right. When you went to our United Nations, what he said, if you listen carefully, you appreciate him for that. The honor that was supposed to be done to him was not given. You know that. So how can somebody take advantage of this? 23rd of this month, Constitutional and Legal Committee of Parliament are meeting on it. And last week, I was with the Speaker of Parliament in Kaswa, and the Speaker said that let no people who don't know anything about it stop talking about it. He passed it. He's still there. In the meeting that Parliament is coming, it will be passed. And when it is passed, the President has also said he will also sign. So, case closed. Case closed.
The pause returns after this break.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Turn your home and office design dreams into reality. Here at Lesh Fortune, interior design is our passion. Customized interior design solutions, top-of-the-range products such as curtains and accessories, blinds and accessories, trendy for bespoke hotel, home and office furniture, top-notch space design services.
I'm the CEO of Builders Estates. When it comes to putting the final touch on all my building projects, I look no further than Lesh Fortune for all my interior decoration needs. They bring your ideas to life.
Turning your house into a home. It's more than just a service. You need beauty and elegance, and the expertise is very important. That's why I choose Lesh Fortune Limited, because they have experience.
Yes, indeed. With our many years of experience, we would excite you. So make that call now. Call us on 0244-265588 or 0302-811163. Lesh Fortune Limited.
Lesh Fortune Limited, unleashing luxury with perfection, one space at a time.
Lesh Fortune Limited.
You guys are ready for what's about to happen? Only on Joy Prime Television.
All right.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. My name is MC Kofi Darlington. Out here, my sister, the guy is quick. Giving the rappers the platform to show their flow. They go blow. Beats and bars to the hardest thing. You get past spit up the baddest thing. This be the mic. Make me see the fire. No darling, cause we know the tire.
Stage, that's it. Mike and I are ready. What's a rap? So now you rap. Beats and bars. You get bars. Shall I
yo.
This is not just rap.
This is not just lyrics. This is war on the mic. Yes, you're welcome to Beats and Bars, the ultimate community rap show, live on Joy Prime Television. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we bring rappers from your community to show us what they've got.
Two communities, two fearless MCs. I'm the guy, Queen Sister Sandy B. Hey, guy, and I'm doing it for my brother.
Yeah, you know when the queen is on, the king is on. My name is MC Kofi Darlington, the only MC with a sauce to spice it all up. And ladies and gentlemen, Beats and Bars, we say, you get bars, spit up. All right.
Rounds, freestyle, rep your community and brag. You know what I'm saying?
You heard that. You have just 3 rounds to prove yourself as a rapper. Every other Saturday, live on Joy Prime Television. Make sure you sit down, 8 p.m. Join us with some cool drink and enjoy the party, man. Your pong is smelling good. Beats and Bars.
You got bars.
Spit down.
Hello again. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has issued a warning of potential flooding in the Anloga district of the Volta region following the sea breaching into the Volta River. This occurred due to high waves in the Fuvemi enclave over the past few days, which forced the sea to break through a piece of land separating the two water bodies. Fred Kwame Asare has more in this report.
The Fuveme enclave in the Anloga district of the Volta region has faced serious threats because of these high waves. Community leaders have reported that this situation has persisted for about 10 years, eroding 3 out of 4 settlements in the area. Things became even more critical when the sea broke through the sand into a tributary of the Volta River, creating an open approximately 100 meters wide. The ongoing flow of the sea threatens not only aquatic life, but also communities along the river.
The littoral area is made up of 4 communities: Atiteti, Japlagbe, Fuveme, and Popobo. And as we speak, the 3 has submerged. Popobo, Fuveme, Japlagbe has gone. So we are now left with Atiteti communities, which are currently accommodating people who have been relocated from Fuveme here.
You know, the estuary is just at the other side. And initially, we have a blockade at the estuary. So I think it's because of the blockade at the estuary, that is where the sea has created its own route here. So first of all, we are pleading with our president to first help us dredge the estuary. Then we block the side. Other than that, we don't know what will happen in the coming few days.
The Volta Regional NADMO Director, Pascal Agbaba, called for immediate intervention to prevent flooding incidents.
Now what is happening is that all the communities downstream here, Anyangi and all the other communities, they are under threat. Once the sea is running through and entering the river, we don't know what will happen in the next moment. They can...
Over hundreds of communities within Saftong, Anloga,
all be consumed. So we are pleading that if something can be done urgently.
The Volta Regional Minister, James Avedzi, after assessing the situation with the Regional Security Council, said he would inform the presidency to seek possible action.
This is a disaster. This needs an urgent attention. Immediate step to take is to block the sea from having that free range and then protect the coast. Is said that if you block one side, another side also, is created by the sea. That is why West Africa government sat down and realized that the entire coastal belt needs to be protected.
Nevertheless, residents remain anxious as the sea continues to flow into the river, threatening their survival. For Kwame Asari, JoyNews.
The MP for Anlo constituency, Richard Kwame Sefe, has called for urgent government intervention to save over 100 communities from destruction of the sea. His call comes as the perennial sea destruction in the coastal areas of the Volta region has set in, cutting into communities and farms as many begin to lose their livelihoods. Speaking to journalists at the sidelines of the ongoing tour of the Energy Committee, Richard Sefe says the situation, if not quickly addressed, could wipe out over 100 communities across 5 districts on the coastal belt.
Over hundreds of communities within Southton, Angloga, Keta, as well as Ketu South. And if I'm not mistaken, part of Akachi South will also be affected. If the situation as it is now is not seen to, what is likely to happen is that for Angloga, we are visualizing that about 50 communities will go off the map if a care is not taken now. If you go to Southton, other communities that we counted, maybe about 6 or 5 of them may also go off. Likewise, part of Keta, that may include Anyako, Seva, and Ngolopi, Bolova, all may also go off. For Angloga, which is currently the receiving district, if the situation is not seen to, you are likely to see a challenge where an area that we call the Koma area, which comprises of about 9 communities. That's Koji, Latama, Alakple, Achito, will all go off. Renwi will also not be spared. And even sections of Angloga farmlands will also go off.
One of the major breakthrough steps to fix the challenge has been $150 million World Bank fund secured under the West Africa Coastal Area Phase 2 program, but 3 years down the line, the MP says no work has begun.
Since this money was raised, no fiscal project has started. You only hear of workshops, meetings here and there. As we are talking now, workshop is ongoing in Eburi, where they have marshaled our people from all those affected districts, and they are being camped in Eburi for 4 days. We were of the view that if anything at all, if there is going to be any meeting at all, the meeting should be held around the enclaves, where the sea is bashing the coastline, so that they will be able to use that a site visit to appreciate the level or the enormity of the problem. So I just want to appeal to the government. Yes, it's my government, it is the people's government, and it's a listening government. But where we have reached now, the chiefs and the people are suffering. We have the view that enough of the talks, enough of the workshops, enough of the meetings. It is time for us to marshal whatever we have to go and fix the problem once and for all. It is not time that you go to meet the people now and give them blankets, food items and what have you, hoping that they may live on them and this. For them, they can go hungry and do whatever they can do. But we want to appeal to the government to come to the aid of the people. Our chiefs are also begging. Everybody, you go there now, it's a sorry situation that we should not be toying with.
Ghana's dependence on charcoal and firewood for cooking continues to drive deforestation and increase carbon emissions, worsening the country's climate challenges. But in the Ashanti region, a small innovation is offering a cleaner and more sustainable alternative. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports from Yawankroma in the Jabi municipality of that region on how clean charcoal is transforming lives and protecting the environment.
Because of hardship, we depend on firewood. This is a small village and there are no nearby shrubs, so we have to go deep into the bush to fetch it.
For 34-year-old Cecilia Ayamdao, every meal begins the same way. Some days she uses charcoal, other days firewood, sometimes both, depending on what she can afford.
We know that when we cut down trees, it affects Ghana's vegetation and affects the many benefits we get from them. Even when we are told not to cut them down, hardship still forces us to depend on trees.
Cecilia is not alone. Across Ghana, about 76% of households still rely on firewood and charcoal for cooking. Each time these fuels are burnt, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are released, contributing to changing weather patterns. But just a few houses away, Aisha Ayaba is experiencing something different.
With firewood or traditional charcoal, the smoke is so much that you cannot stay near it. But with clean charcoal, we can sit around it comfortably, which makes it easier to use. After cooking, you can put it out and reuse it whenever you need it.
Unlike Cecilia, Aisha now cooks with clean charcoal made from agricultural waste instead of trees. The fuel used by Aisha is produced by BD Green Ghana Limited, a company co-founded by Eunice Mawena and others.
It's sustainable because we do not cut trees to produce charcoal as compared to other traditional methods. But we use a variety of raw materials such as coconut husk, coconut shells, palm kernel shells, sawdust, and other forms of raw materials, including corn cobs too. So it's quite a variety, and that's what makes it sustainable.
According to Eunice, the company processes about 3 tons of waste every day, waste that would otherwise pollute the air.
We're currently processing about 3 tons of waste a day. It's safer for the environment because the waste would have been out there, it would have been burnt, and a lot of carbon dioxide and other harmful chemicals have been going into the atmosphere. But it means we are taking it off the areas where they are burnt and using it for something more sustainable. So it is the way forward with green energy.
For energy expert at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Dr. Gifty Sewa Mensa, solutions like clean charcoal go beyond cooking.
If, for instance, we take garden wastes, forest residues, and then we use it to produce things like pellets, which can be used for cooking in clean cook stoves. Then also you reduce the happening of women going to the forest to, cut forests and then use it for firewood and charcoal production.
Dr. Mensah says reducing dependence on traditional charcoal could significantly cut emissions and protect Ghana's forests.
When we fell trees, what happens is that we reduce the sinking capacity of the forest area. The quantity of carbon dioxide that could have been sunk by the forest area is reduced. Every tree you cut down, you reduce the capacity of an area to absorb carbon dioxide, which the plants use for their food production and then give us oxygen. So by producing energy from waste and making it available to those who need it, we actually also reduce that deforestation and its associated carbon emissions.
Eunice explains that one bag of clean charcoal can last up to 3 times longer than the traditional charcoal, saving money over time.
It lasts longer than traditional charcoal. If you are to use a bag for 1 day, our charcoal should last 3 days. It means you are saving money at the same time protecting your health. So roughly, if we are to compare costs of our products, when you take a bag of traditional charcoal, it goes for roughly 100 to 150 cedis, depending on the season. And our charcoal goes for 200 cedis. People would say at a glance that it is expensive, but it is safer for your pocket. It's easier on your pocket because a bag lasts 3 times longer than the traditional charcoal. And so if you have to buy a bag for 150 cedis, that is the traditional charcoal, and you use it for a day, you buy our product for 200 cedis and use it for 3 days, you would have saved yourself an extra 300 cedis. Yeah.
But for head of production at BD Green, Emmanuel Obeng-Frimpong, scaling up remains a challenge.
So the technical knowledge is a major challenge. Aside that, in terms of market as well, the acceptability has also become a major challenge, and we are still pushing, especially within the Kumasi environment, since this is where we find ourselves. It's been a major challenge because there's a culture that has been built around the traditional charcoal, and it's been a major hurdle trying to push our alternative, which is relatively better, but then there's a culture that's been built around it, and we are still trying to push, and then also to be able to penetrate the market.
Despite these challenges, Emmanuel says the company is growing, producing up to 25 tons each month.
The sieve, it sieves it, and then this is onto the next conveyor. There's also another conveyor that drives it into the dryer. So this section is a dryer. Yeah, and we use the same fuel in firing the boiler. So this is our dryer. We use the same soda briquette in firing it.
As Ghana looks for ways to fight climate change, innovators like Eunice and her team are proving that solutions can start small and grow, one household at a time. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDK in Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from CLARE R4I Opportunities Fund.
Transportation BOST will lose 40 million Ghana cedis this month from the suspended fuel margins. Government has, effective April 16th, suspended all margins on fuel prices at the pump. Diesel has seen a 2 cedi reduction, with petrol also going down by 36 pesos. And speaking to journalists during Parliament's Energy Committee's tour of some energy agencies, Deputy Managing Director of BOST, Nat Salifu Acheampong, said they will lose at least 40 million cedis to the government intervention in the next 4 weeks.
It is not taken off completely. We still have the margin on petrol. It's only on diesel that we don't have the margin. But we've been promised it is only for a short period. So we are appealing to Parliament to also sing our song. They have seen the effort we have made. All these facilities you have seen, we need to replace the pipeline from Accra to Akusumbo. And bear in mind, all this pipeline will inure to the benefit of the whole country. Once we replace the existing pipeline, which is only 6 inches, these are 12 inches pipeline. We get resources from the BOST margin to bring in all this pipeline. If we lose the BOST margin completely, what it means is that we will not be able to replace the existing pipeline. So we are appealing to Parliament to make sure when the crisis is over, then we'll be in a position to restore the BOST margin so that we'll continue to do the good work the people of Ghana has interested in our house.
But how long is this project expected to?
12 months.
12 months.
Are you able to tell us how much you get on average on a yearly basis from the margin and what you'll be losing from this reduction?
Yeah, so let's say within this month, we are likely to lose close to 40 million Ghana cedis. And 40 million Ghana cedis off our books is serious business. So if you compare that, assuming we lose 40 million Ghana cedis consistently over a period, it means that our operation will adversely be affected. So we are appealing to the powers that be. When the crisis is over, they will restore the BOST margin for the good people of Ghana. Nothing is free.
James Avedzi is our man on the ground with the Energy Committee and is joining me on Zoom with more. James, how is this expected to affect the work of BOST? Hello, James, can you hear me?
Yes, Ken, I can hear you. Was indicating that you heard the Deputy MD there talking about the current pipeline expansion project, which they are undertaking from Accra to Akosombo to replace the 6 inches pipes with 12 inches. When I asked him whether that could be affected due to the loss of this margin, he said, for now, they have enough money to undertake this project, but warns that should this margin be suspended beyond the 1 month initial period that government had planned, then the project may be hit, including other projects that the company is undertaking. But also assuring in terms of fuel that their tankers are full now as there is enough fuel supply for the country for at least 6 months. We can listen to him make those points.
We will listen to that sound in a moment, but in the meantime, has there been any reaction from the minority on the committee?
Of course, Ken, you recall that before even the implementation, the minority's biggest advocacy has been the suspension or the repeal of the 1 cedi energy sector debt recovery levy, which was amended, and that 1 cedi imposed in 2025. But the ranking member on the committee, George Abuaji, says, in fact, they would have preferred that government suspend that 1 cedi levy, including some other tax, and restore the margins instead, due to the key role these margins play in the sector for most of the country's energy agencies who depend on this for their day-to-day running as well as infrastructure projects. And so, as far as the minority is concerned, even though this suspension will bring relief to the citizens, government should have suspended taxes instead of this margins. And that's the advocacy they intend to push even in Parliament when Parliament reconvenes after the break that they are enjoying now, Ken.
And where else is the committee visiting today?
The committee is currently at Sunon Asogli Power Plant to also listen to them in terms of what challenges they are facing and what kind of advocacy they can carry for them on the floor of Parliament. That meeting is yet to begin, but that will wrap up the day's activities with engagement with Sunon Asogli, while the on-field tour continues tomorrow as well to other agencies in the energy and power sectors, respectively.
James Avedzi, thank you. You're still watching The Pulse here on Joy News. Countdown to shutdown. That could become a reality as senior high schools across Ghana face a possible shutdown by a close of today if urgent funding and food supply issues are not resolved. The National Secretary of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, Primus Barrow, has warned. A crunch meeting between CHARS, the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, and other key stakeholders ended inconclusively after disagreements over food procurement procedures and delayed payments owed to schools. School heads say they are unable to secure food supplies after months of arrears, leaving institutions in a deepening crisis with no clear timeline for resolution. We can now listen to the Secretary of CHAS, Primus Barrow.
We are saying that, this is it's a natural process. It's a natural process. If you don't have money to feed your students, what else can you do? The options are many. One is to ask the person you cannot feed to stay away for a while. One is to say, okay, fine, you stay along, but you cannot be fed. It's possible. There are various options. So we are only saying that we hope we will not get there. I know the stakeholders that are involved, including the minister and DEPAN, I believe, they are all, working around the clock to resolve the issue. We have not received, I must say that as I sit now, we haven't received any form of formal communication to that effect as to whether the issue is being resolved today or not. But what we are just saying that we hope and pray that by the close of day today, we will receive news that the issue has been resolved, so that the calendar, the smooth sailing calendar, will not be affected in one way or the other. That's our prayer. We don't hope to get to a situation where schools can actually be shut down. It's not anybody's role.
We've also been hearing from the National Food Buffer Stock Company, which is rejecting the blame, saying its supply arrangement hasn't changed and the problem isn't theirs. Here's the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of NAFCO, Osmond Amwa.
Connects the right, that is to say, food glut, local entities, procurement framework, benchmarking food safety standards. Ask yourself, do the schools have that capacity to do that? Your guess is as good as mine. NAFCO has structures. There's a procurement framework that goes through the system. There's a food safety standard.
Still on education, the Parents and Teachers Association of Ghana is warning of dire consequences for teaching and learning if the issue is not urgently resolved. General Secretary Gabson Kofi Raphael says the crisis could disrupt academic work across the country.
We as parents, we always try to support the school systems to run and run effectively. So as and when the challenges come up and the heads of schools are bold to engage us on it, our structures at the school-based level hold the bull by the horn and see what we can also do immediately to try to make sure that we can at least support them to run the schools. Besides that, what is beyond us, and it's purely within the domain of government because we cannot able to sustain it in terms of using our little PTA funds or other resources to support the school systems. We also try to complement the efforts of the CHAS and other bodies to make sure that those who are in charge are able to help resolve the issues as soon as possible. As I spoke to you, since Friday, when we picked the signals, we've tried to watch this space to look at what will happen from today. The truth of the matter is that the GET Fund Administrator or the GET Fund Secretariat, they are currently to augment and support whatever we need to run the schools. They are purely in charge of it. It is becoming clear that there are areas that the GET Fund Administrator works with the Minister of Education. Right. And there are also areas that he works with the Minister of Finance.
Okay.
So this is a statement of facts.
In a related development, President John Mahama is proposing that the current egg glut be redirected to supply feeding in senior high schools.
As I speak now, there's a glut in the production of eggs. Poultry farmers are complaining that they can't get a market for their eggs. And so, because of the poultry programs and all that we've done, the supply of eggs has increased. And that's why I've said that we should find a way of getting the school feeding program to absorb the eggs and give it to our children to eat. If we can't sell it, let our children eat the eggs. We are working to resolve these problems, but the resolution of these problems take a bit of time.
In the northern region, Tamale Senior High School has been named the outstanding senior high school at this year's Girls in Tech Camp in Tamale. Tamasco won the award after judges assessed projects submitted at the end of the 5-day program. They beat Tamale Girls Senior High School and Northern School of Business Senior High School to take the prize.
The Northern Region edition of the Girls in Tech Camp brought together 60 girls from senior high school, junior high school, and preschool for the 5-day camp. The students receive hands-on training in coding, artificial intelligence, and robotics before building and presenting their own projects. Speaking after receiving the award, the lead of the Tamasco team, Maida Abubakar, said winning the award means a lot to the school.
It means a lot to us because ever since we came here, our teachers and facilitators kept on encouraging us and that we should try our possible best to send a trophy to our school. And then we made it, so I'm very, very happy.
The Director of Science Education Unit, Ghana Education Service, Olivia Parry, said, bridging the gender gap in ICT is not only an issue of inclusion, but also investing in the future.
At the Ghana Education Service, we firmly believe that every girl has the potential to excel in ICT and contribute meaningfully to national development.
The Deputy Director General Quality and Access, Dr. Ishaq Menawara, said female representation in STEM is low and called for capacity building for young girls.
When it comes to the STEM area, we still find a lot of areas that are underrepresented. And I think that for the Beijing Normal University, UNESCO, to partner with Ghana Education Service, the Science Resource Unit, that is the STEM unit under the Ghana Education Service, to build the capacity of our young ladies.
The Northern Regional Director of Education, Alhassan Alidu Jr., said girls had proven that when given the opportunity, they can excel.
Young girls, I commend your enthusiasm and commitment. You have proven that within opportunity and determination, there is no limit to what you can achieve. As you return home, I encourage you to apply what you have learned and inspire others.
Ghana is strengthening its technology ties with Zambia as a high-level delegation led by Science and Technology Minister expressed confidence that the visit will translate into concrete business deals before the two-day engagement concludes.
Is looking to engage in phase 2 of what happened in Lusaka. Normally you say what happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas, or what happened in Lusaka stays in Lusaka. But this time what happened in Lusaka is going to happen in Accra. And for us it's exciting that we can welcome a powerful delegation from Zambia, and a very special warm welcome to the businesses, 16 of you who have traveled from Lusaka to Accra. It is exciting for us. We welcome you to Accra. It's going to be, the next 48 hours are going to be very intense. Conversations, deliberations, discussions. For us, it must be a learning process. We must learn from each other and understand how we can make Zambia and Ghana even better. I believe and I'm confident that by the end of this official engagement, which will end when the Honorable Minister leaves on Wednesday morning to continue with his trip, that some of you are going to remain in Accra to tie up and close deals and businesses that will serve our people better. But may the next 2 days be a period of learning.
Let's take you to the courts now, where the Attorney General's office is pushing back against claims that the government has gone silent on its promise to prosecute corrupt officials under the Operation Recover or Loot Oral. Speaking on the Law Show on Sunday, Deputy Attorney General Justice Sremsai insisted that the anti-corruption drive is firmly on course. According to him, several cases are already before the courts, but the lack of public attention does not mean inactivity.
Oral is working, and I have a way of doing my cases. I don't believe in finishing court, coming out and granting interview on every day. But in terms of speed, I can tell you, look, we started Wuntumi in January, right? By middle of March, we have closed our case, 4 witnesses. We are finished with Wuntumi. Wuntumi is supposed to open his defense next week. When has it happened before that a case has gone through trial within January, middle of January to middle of March, 2 months? So oral is going, just that, if you are prosecuting people, you have to respect their rights.
That's right.
You cannot come to the public and be saying things which may end up being prejudicial. So we leave the courtroom and we leave everything there. Then we come out and walk on the street. We go back to the court.
Hello again. The call for a new approach to peace building in Africa is taking center stage in Dakar, where leaders are pushing for a shift from rhetoric to action. Chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, Julius Madabio, says the time has come for women and young people to move from the margins to the forefront of peace and security efforts on the continent. Speaking at the Dakar International Forum on Peace and Security in Africa, he stressed that women and youth must no longer be seen as passive recipients of peace, but as active architects shaping sustainable solutions to conflict and instability. My colleague Adobia Sari is at the forum and is joining us on Zoom with more. Adobia, welcome to the program. What other key issues have been raised at this conference?
Thank you, Ken. Are you able to hear me? Hello, Kenneth?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. The president of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Bayo, has been making some very profound remarks here at the Dakar International Forum for Peace and Security, one of which you mentioned about women taking center stage and leading the front when it comes to peace building on the continent. Now, another thing he said was that it's been 10 years of rhetoric, 10 years of dialogue, speeches here and there. This year is the 10th edition, and he's saying for the next decade, it shouldn't be more dialogues. He has to see some action. Governments and heads of states must begin to do things that will bring tangible results. He did mention that governments will have to begin to govern with integrity, because you cannot instill peace in people when they've lost hope in their country. You also, they should govern with integrity. And when the people following them see that they are governing with integrity, they know that it's not all going to be smooth in governance. But if they are truthful to the people, they begin to have some hope in their country, and that can help in peace building. He also did mention that it's important that we take notice or we take actions concerning climate change. And that was very interesting to me, because I was wondering how terrorism, peace building, what kind of link they have with climate change. Now, this is what he said, that the struggle for food, water, land, and other resources do lead to extremism and violence, because people begin to fight each other to be able to get some of these things. So he wants government to start taking some concrete action in curbing all these climate change problems that we are getting, so that some of these things can be reduced. I've been wanting to secure an interview with him so he can elaborate on especially this point and amongst other points he's made. But we're still trying to get, and the moment we get that, I'll bring to you and our audience the details of what he meant by the climate change in relation to peace and violence extremism. Now, he also did mention that he gave the example of how women nurture the home, how they bridge the gap, make sure people are at peace, people are well fed, how women basically take care of everything they are given, and why they have to be the ones leading the charge when it comes to peace building on the continent. He also did mention that children and women are the most vulnerable when extremisms and terrorist attacks happen. And so we shouldn't be putting them in such situations, because they think, because the men who lead think they are men and they can always find a way, or they are strong enough to, chase some of these problems. And so we should consider the upcoming generations and do what is right now. He said a whole lot of things concerning this particular topic on women leading the charge when it comes to peace building. Now, in recent times, the Sahel and Nigeria have experienced certain forms of extremism. And because of this, the president of Senegal himself has also been speaking. His speech wasn't that lengthy, but one of the things he captured was how he believes the African continent, the security forces can come together and share intelligence to be able to anticipate extremisms and stop them before they even happen. So he and the ECOWAS chairman on heads of states, on authority of heads of states and governments, agree that the African continent should come together when it comes to security to be able to share intelligence, and that can help with integration and sovereignty. Now, talking about integration, they also did mention that, unfortunately, it's quite easier for some Africans to move to Europe and the West than to move within Africa because, for instance, when we're coming here, we didn't get a straight flight to Senegal, to Dakar. We had to go through Lomé to get to Dakar, and that shouldn't be the case. When you have to move to any African country at all, you should be able to move without transiting here and there. So they did talk about integration and sovereignty. They did say that the time has come for us to totally be free from relying on the West and other countries outside Africa for peace, security, food, and basically everything.
Adobia, sorry, thank you very much. Remember, I did tell you to say hello to somebody in Senegal for me. I hope you've not forgotten about that.
I've not forgotten.
Good. Do take care of yourself.
I will.
And back here in Accra, the national organizer of the MPP, Henry Nana Boakye, says party communicators will remain resolute and defend Ghana's democratic space following assurances from the party's 2024 flag bearer, Mahmoud Bawumia, to resist what he describes as growing political intimidation. And he's joining me right now for more on this. Henry, welcome to the program. You've assured Dr. Bawumia of the party's resilience. What specific steps will MPP communicators take to stay strong and speak boldly in the current climate?
Thank you very much. What we are seeking to do is that, do not forget that following the unwarranted and unfortunate arrest of Sunyani Communications Officer Baba Mando, where the High Court overturned the ruling of the Circuit Court, which sought to detain Baba Mando for a couple of days. We visited the former Vice President, the presidential candidate of the NPP, where he admonished all party communicators to be resilient, to be resolute, to be strong and firm in defending the party's record and also in defending democracy. And they should not be intimidated, they should not be, or they should not feel harassed by this growing culture.
Henry, I would appreciate it if you could, Henry, I would appreciate it if you could kindly speak up for me.
No, is it okay? Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay, so what His Excellency, the former Vice President, did was to admonish all party communicators at all levels to be strong, to be resilient, to be resolute, and to be firm in defending the party's records, in exposing the incompetencies of this government, and exposing the lies, the failed promises of this government, and not to be intimidated by the creeping culture of weaponizing state institutions to criminalize free speech and also to undermine our democracy. That is what His Excellency, the former Vice President, admonished the entire party when we visited him in his home, where he received Baba Amando, some constituency executives, some regional executives, and I led the delegation to his house. Let me say that His Excellency, the Vice President, also mentioned that Ghana, we have traveled far, we have come very far, we have achieved some credible democratic credentials for ourselves. And for that matter, he is of view that His Excellency, the President, cannot be so pretending over such unfortunate instances where journalists are incarcerated, people who are on social media incarcerated for certain comments they have passed. And the era of criminalizing free speech is gone. We have actually removed criminal libel law from our law books. It is no more part. We have repealed this particular law. So this is not a time for us to reintroduce criminal libel through the back door. It's most unfortunate. So His Excellency, the former president, says that, look, stay firm, be resolute, be resilient, strengthen the records of the party, expose the lies of this government. Do not be deterred, do not be disturbed, do not be perturbed by whatever this government will do.
Right. Henry, the former vice president has also accused the government of using state security to silence dissent. Did he touch a bit on that when you visited him? What evidence really does the party also have to support this claim that you've been making?
Oh, I can give you a litany of cases. Do not forget that Adenta Kumi's case, where he published on social media that he's gotten some evidence during the trial of the committee that sat on the removal of Justice Tokono, that some judges and lawyers are having lunch somewhere. Quickly, the following day, armed national security stormed the house of this young man and detained him for some hours. Don't forget the Mohammed Zakor case, where Mohammed Zakor just posted. You recall that the current vice president went on some health leave. And then he said that rest well, Madam Vice President. And then he was arrested and detained for 3 days. I mean, why should that be? Don't forget the Facebookers and TikTokers who were having their own program. And again, they were rounded up, arrested, and they were detained for days. Don't forget the journalist who spoke in Kumasi, and they arrested him in a Rambo style, traveled all the way from Kumasi to Accra, detained him for almost about another 10 days or so. Don't forget the Obama instance where he posted something on social media and then he was arrested. Don't forget the Okateche Frifa case where Okateche Frifa too, who is a journalist, was also arrested by national security for some charges unknown to him. And he was he was arrested twice also. Orden Asarabediakun was also caught. Don't forget the matter. So we have litany of cases, and it is becoming alarming, right? You see, if you compare that to our era, look, we've had instances where Basentali posted something on social media explaining how the vice president was holding beer, and then again he was holding pork in his hands. Who caused his arrest? In fact, at that time, the vice president was the chairman for the police council. Nobody called for his arrest. We have had instances where a journalist, Samuel Hunto of Ahunto FM, said that, look, if President Akufo-Addo should sit in a plane, the plane should crash and he should die. Who caused his arrest? We've had instances where NDC went on demonstration, they were chanting, God killed Nanado for us, killed Nanado for us, killed Nanado for us. Who caused the arrest? So
these are, Henry, all these are allegations that you are making that we cannot independently substantiate them. So these are coming from you and not from us. We cannot independently verify
no, but these are matters of record. It is there.
Right.
All that I mentioned, it is there. I mean, these are how you cannot run away from it. It is. In fact, some of you even reported on your own website. So it's not my words. The arrest and detention of all the people I've mentioned, it is published on your website. Check it. So it is not. It's not as if I've just put together some words or some narrative and I'm just peddling it. No, I mean these are matters of public record and it is there in the public domain. You see, that is why it is problematic. You recall this case of this rough guy who invaded the privacy of people who were seeking medical attention at Rich Hospital, caused chaos and commotion there, caused fear and panic there. This gentleman was never arrested. In fact, even the committee that was put together by the minister to investigate this matter, this guy swore heaven and earth that he was never going to appear before that committee. And indeed, he never appeared before that committee. He is working free.
Henry, so you say that all these are attempts by the government to crush dissent, correct?
Exactly. And the most sad matter is that it looks like they are creating a certain rules, laws, regulations for NDC people, and then for MPP, and this is very bad. And that is why we are saying that, look, His Excellency the President should not be so pretending over such.
But Henry,
where our democracy will be under attack, free speech is being criminalized. But people are being incarcerated for what? Expressing their views? No.
Henry, during President Akufo-Addo's time, also there were a number of arrests of prominent journalists and bloggers. One of them was Bobby Ansah, who was arrested for making some allegations against then First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo. We also heard of the arrest of blogger Bongo Ideas. We also heard of the arrest of Captain Smart in 2022, and several other persons who were arrested, including Emmanuel.
How I wish you would tell me the reasons why they are arrested, because I mentioned to you, because you see, there are certain things.
So Bobby Ansah, let me give you the reasons.
That will impugn on national security and threaten the stability of the nation.
So you believe that all these persons that were arrested during President Akufo-Addo's era did something that could impede the national security of the nation? Because
yes, that is why I'm asking you that. What exactly did they do?
Let me give you the reasons. Bobby Ansah, for instance, was detained after making allegations involving the then First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and then he was accused of publishing falsehood, offensive conduct, and defamation-related issues. And also we have Captain Smart. Let me get Captain Smart also.
Let me tell you the Captain Smart matter. If Captain Smart inciting people, I recall, he was never even arrested for that. He was inciting Obuasi people that they should go in there and take what they want. And the people, based on that advice, went in there and some were killed.
So, Henry, you're saying that the arrests during President Akufo-Addo's time are justified, but the ones happening during President Mohamed's time are not.
It depends on what that is why I actually have gone ahead to mention to you exactly what the case is. Why should somebody be arrested for publishing on his Facebook wall Salifu Acheampong in LGBTQ colors, Sam George in LGBTQ colors, the president in LGBTQ colors, and the person is arrested? When some judge on the platform says that if you vote for Baumia and Napo, it means you are voting for LGBTQ and blah, blah, blah. He says some few things that I cannot even say on radio. Right? So why should that be? If Malik Basintali can post on his Facebook that the president is holding beer, the former vice president is holding beer and then also holding pork, which is haram to every Muslim, and he never causes arrest. So what I'm saying is that, look, there are certain matters you speak of which will threaten the stability and peace of this country. And I will not have any problem with that.
Okay.
But if somebody should, in fact, I feel that now, even if somebody is defamed, now defamation is being construed as a criminal offense. In fact, in the Abronye case, for instance, Abronye says that a certain judge is a political judge. And then the judicial secretary petitions the CID to go after Abronye. But we have heard this comment several times. In fact, the NDC even labeled judges as unanimous FC, MPP judges. In fact, recently, during a program which was to honor Chatuchi Kata himself said that as we speak, we don't know 2020 election results. Meanwhile, it's gazetted. It is everywhere. It's on the website. We don't know because a unanimous FC protected Jean Mensa. Can you imagine? Even currently, they are still saying it.
But
so what is the difference between Abronye saying that judge in Adenta?
But Henry, the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has also been very critical of most judges in this country. In fact, he posted a long essay critiquing judges in this country upon some rulings that they've made that he and your party are not happy with. And he's walking freely. He's not been arrested. So I'm trying to find how different that is from the criticism that we're getting right now. I agree with him.
I subscribe to that. That is what he's saying, that, look, judges should not just lower themselves to become political judges. Because you see now, look at the animal farm case. I was scandalized. I was in court that day when the judge was delivering his ruling, and then he alluded to a notorious person like Idi Amin. How can you even liken Idi Amin to our democracy? How can a certain judge say that, yes, in the Constitution and Article 17, all of us are equal before the law, but some are above the law. And for that matter, we should go and detain Abronye. How can a judge? And this judge is promoted to the High Court. Too. How can the judge even be talking about animal farm in democracy? So sometimes if you listen to these rulings, then you know that it looks like there is a certain political connotation beneath such rulings. I mean, look at what happened in court the last time. There was no application for remand. There was no opposition to the bail application made by Honorable Afenomakin. Yet the judge in his ruling mentioned that the prosecution says they will need the accused. Meanwhile, in the records of proceedings, nothing of that nature was said. It never captured anything like that. So you can see that clearly the judge is being biased. It appears that he has a certain predetermined mind already. And today we are going to file a motion for the judge to recuse himself from the matter. We went to court today, and we are telling the judge that we think that he must recuse himself from this particular matter. And we are going to do so with an official application.
With all these concerns that have been raised by your party concerning judges within our judicial system, will the MPP then purge the judicial system when you return to power?
No, there's nothing like we purging the judicial. All that we are saying is that, look, judges should not limit themselves to become political judges. They should not allow themselves to be used by politicians. That is all. That is all. You are a judge. You are a trained judge. You have gone to look. All these judges are qualified. Because according to the qualification in our laws, they meet all of these qualifications.
Right.
To be a magistrate, to be a judge at the magistrate court, there's a qualification. There's a qualification at the circuit court, the High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court. All of them are qualified. There is no way you can be a judge without these stated qualifications. You cannot. You have to meet them. So we believe that they are qualified. But we also think that they should not allow themselves to be used by politicians.
Did you know that some videos circulating on social media falsely claiming to be from JoyNews and advertising some drugs are fakes? These fake videos advertise unapproved medicines using deep fakes of our presenters to endorse these medicines. Here's one example.
Blood pressure exceeds 120/80, internal organs are affected, and a stroke occurs. A famous doctor has developed a drug that prevents high blood pressure.
You can learn to spot these fake videos. Here's how. The first sign. Notice how the lips of the anchor do not...
The system has been biased towards the party in government?
No, for us, we don't even think that the judicial system is even biased towards the party. We think that some judges...
But they are within the judicial system, aren't they?
No, you see, it is important that we take these issues case by case. If you listen to the NDC when they were in opposition, you have gone to court, this presidential petition. I was part of the legal team, so I sat in court for all the 20 days. His Excellency, the President, appeared only once. He didn't come to court again. They were asked of their evidence. They said they don't have any evidence. In fact, at the point, they were even asked to calculate their own figure. So per their own collation, what did you get? I recall saying that they don't have any figure. They didn't come to court with any figure. So if you go to court without evidence, and this was, it was live on TV, my brother. It was live on TV. They were asked several times. They went to the court without any evidence. So it looks like they went to court just to disturb our peace.
But anyone can go to court, Henry.
And then again, see, if you look at that, and then you consider this animal farm and this Idi Amin ruling, which received backlash, right? You compare these two, you notice that, look, You go to court without any evidence. You have been thrown out of court. And then you go onto the streets and say that, oh, you didn't go to court with any evidence. Yes, you have been thrown out. So they are unanimous FC. But look at this judge. He was condemned by almost every Ghanaian for giving such poor and very bad, wasteful judgment. So that is why we must look at these cases individually.
Is there usually a political pressure on judges?
Let me say it again. We are not saying that the entire judiciary.
Right, I get it.
There are some, very, very independent-minded judges in there. All that we are saying is that some judges should not allow themselves to be used by politicians.
Back to my question, is there sort of a political pressure on some of these judgments when a government is in power for these judges to rule in the favor of the ruling party? Because, like I mentioned earlier, there are always accusations, especially pointing to the sitting judge, that they usually rule in favor of parties in government. And these are not judges that became judges just yesterday. They've been judges for a long time, during your time and also during the time of the NDC. So is there usually a political pressure on these judges to rule in favor of parties in government when it comes to political issues like these?
Oh, I admit there could be that political pressure, but that is why the bench is not for timorous souls.
Right.
I agree, there could be that pressure.
Okay.
Right, because some cases may be, highly political. So if you're a judge and you are not very careful, you may be enveloped in this pressure.
Right.
But the bench is not for the timorous soul. So even in the face of any political pressure, what is important is that the law is before you. Do what is right.
Henry, you recently declared that you will go for the national vice chairman position within your party. Why are you leaving the national organizer position and contesting for the vice chairman position?
Oh, no, it's not a matter of leaving. I mean, it's a matter of me serving the party. I've served the party in different capacities, right from the polling station up to electoral area level, up to the constituency, to the region. I've been twice TESCOM president. I've been polling station chairman before. I've been constituency.
Henry, your voice is going down again.
Sorry?
Your voice is going down again.
Oh, sorry. I said it is not a matter of living as a particular position. It's a matter of serving.
Okay.
And for over 26 years, I've served this party in different capacities. Right from the polling station to electoral area, to constituency, to region, to national. I've served at all levels of our party structure. So I've been national youth organizer before, and then I moved to become national organizer. Currently, I'm the national organizer till September. And I feel that I still have this experience I've accumulated. I keep saying that the party has invested a lot in me, right from my youthful days. The party has invested in me. So I've availed myself again to serve this party as a national vice chairman of the new petrol.
Right. So why?
I believe I might even be one of the youngest contesting for this position.
Right.
But I am the most experienced in terms of working from the party right from base to the national level.
Why that particular position? I'm interested in why vice and why not chairman, for instance.
Oh, no. I mean, for instance, how I've served, sometimes it's important that you look at your ability and what you can do to serve the party. And that is exactly what I've done. I have done some introspection. I've considered the number of years I've worked for this party. I've considered my experience. I've done it over the years. I've seen some things that really has prepared me for the job ahead. So yes, I feel that at this present moment, I can serve the party very well for us to be back 2028 as the national first vice.
Henry, your party is coming on the back of one of the worst election defeats in your history since 1992. You were in charge of organizing members, the base of your party, to rally them to vote for your party in the 2024 elections. Some will argue that you failed in that regard because the results are a testament to what you did. So really, why should they vote you to become the vice chairman when you failed to mobilize people in your role as a national organizer to get them to vote for your party in 2024?
Oh, I think that is a flawed analogy. Why? Because you see, in political party, do not forget that recently during the 2016 election, President Mahama was the president, and he got the most horrible results ever as a sitting president. In fact, he lost by some 1 million votes. Nobody even thought. In fact, at the point, the NDC people even said that he was not even going to come again. And today he's the president. So why? You could have said that, look, President, why are you coming back again? Because you gave the NDC the most undesirable results ever. I mean, look at Chairman Azeedun Gatia. He superintended over the campaign for the NDC during the time they lost badly. Then 2020, he was still the same. He was the coordinator. And then they even promoted him to become chairman. And now some people are even promoting him to become flag bearer of the party. Political party experiences and operations are different. That is why experience matters. Yes, I am not happy that we lost 2024. It was a collective work. But the most important thing is the experience you get from some of these developments. So as for a political party, and do not forget that I keep saying that for the next MPP leadership, it will certainly be a blend of new faces and old faces. Some are even not contesting again. So out of the 10 positions, we will certainly have an effective, a competent blend of old faces and new faces coming together. So as for that analogy, it is always flawed because as for political party and operations, because I've also worked as a national youth organizer before where we won the election. So sometimes you learn from some of these instances and that will make you a better person.
Right.
Learning from failures makes you a better person. You develop well for the fight ahead. That is why I am of the view that all of this, that is the most, you see, if you recall, we lost the elections, and that is why we are taking steps to make sure that we strengthen our structures. I am happy that we elected our presidential candidate very early. It was part of the recommendations we stood for. So we lost badly, so something drastic must be done.
Right.
Elect your presidential candidate. Have a formidable party. Make sure the party is calm. Reconcile the party. Strengthen the party so that you can win 2028. So for me, once again, there will be an effective and a competent blend of new faces and old faces, of which I will become part of the executives.
Henry, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Henry Nana Boakye is the national organizer of the MPP. Let's still stay within the opposition party because efforts to rebuild and reorganize the new patriotic party following the 2024 elections are gaining momentum in the Ahafo region. Former Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Kwabena Bempatando, has handed over a fully refurbished constituency office to the Asunafo North Executive Body. The gesture, which includes a 2-year rent advance and essential office equipment, is being described as a critical shot in the arm for the party's quest to recapture power in 2028. Emmanuel Edujemfi has more.
The Asunafo North New Patriotic Party constituency office has received a major facelift, now featuring modern branding, portrait of past NPP presidents, and clearly displayed mission and vision statement. The upgrade aims to serve as a constant reminder of the party's heritage and its goals for the future. Beyond the physical renovations, Dr. KB Tando donated laptops, furniture, and a public address system to facilitate administrative work and grassroots mobilization. To ensure stability, he has also fully settled the office rent for the next 2 years. Addressing a crowd of regional, constituency, electoral area and polling station executives, Dr. Tando emphasized that unity is the only path back to the Jubilee House.
Our long-term goal is to see how we can secure a place close to town that we are able to then, with the support of others, build a party office that is befitting of a regional capital constituency.
He urged members to forgive past grievances from their time in power and work toward making the party attractive to new voters.
Our aim is to see how we can rebuild our party. Some of the divisions that are within our party, especially in the constituency, we are able to work together, we're able to come together, mend those divisions so that we can have a united front for both the parliamentary elections as well as the presidential elections in 2028. MPP is definitely the party that supports development and development in freedom. And so it is important that our party it becomes the party of choice.
Constituency Secretary Patrick Ezuma expressed profound gratitude, noting that such vital support is good for an opposition party looking to reorganize its human resource base.
In the opposition, we hardly pay our rent. Now, Dr. K.B. Tando has come to our aid to pay at least 2 years advance to help the party. In reorganizing the party, we need a peaceful office space to be able to run the party. Now that we have a well-renovated office, I think we can work peacefully. Now we have lost our seat. So all what we are looking for is that we need to come together, unite, and then campaign vigorously to capture our seat back and also to win the presidency.
Emmanuel Edujemfi, Joy News, Goso.
The district chief executive for KJB, Sam Isaka, has called on teachers handling BEC candidates to prepare the students well enough to avoid the tendency to cheat during the final exams in the coming month. Officials of education in the district have also warned there will be no room for cheating during the exams. The following report has more.
As part of efforts to prepare BC candidates for the 2026 exams, education officials in KJB district of the Oti region have organized cluster-based tuition for BC candidates. This is for the candidate to have a feel of and experience different approaches from subject teachers who are not their regular class teachers. Dr. Sam Suraj Isaka is the district chief executive for KJB district.
They've gone through the process since GHS1 till now. And this last minute, we felt that we need to engage them throughout, even though their younger colleagues are still home. What they are giving them is the final tidbits, how to handle questions in an exam situation, how to approach or how to present their answers. So we think this will help them. Then again, they are also solving some past questions. And all these preparations put together will prepare them adequately to start the BEC exam.
He has also called on teachers to adequately prepare the students so as to prevent the tendency to cheat during the exams scheduled for the month of May.
We engage the students, engage the teachers, and to encourage them to prepare the students adequately. Because this year we don't want to register any exam malpractice in any of the centers. So we're telling the teachers to prepare whatever they have to give to the students or the candidates. They have to do that. And it's a reason why we are organizing this last minute tuition for the students. So we encouraging them that they should try as much as possible, encourage the students to prepare adequately so we avoid any exam malpractice during the time when they will be taking the BEC exams.
The District Director for Education, Seth Seramde, has warned there would be no room for cheating during the exams, hence the need for the students to take their preparations seriously.
Once you pass and you begin to improve in your academics, you get whatever you want in life. But if you fail, then that ends your future. So I entice you to learn. This year, the mantra from the office is Zero tolerance to exam malpractices. So learn and be confident in yourself so that we get good results and improve on the 82.5% of your predecessors.
The Member of Parliament for the area, Engineer Gomado, has used the occasion to distribute over 1,000 mathematical sets to the candidates, apart from earlier organizing district mock for them. According to him, the intervention is yielding the desired results.
Last year was amazing that we had 82.5%. So I promised him that it has come to stay from 2021. So every year I do this for the children. And that's why we are getting our results appreciated. And I want to see more of our youth, our children develop, because education is the key to success.
The MP has also assured candidates who would excel in the exams with aggregate 6 to 25 of his sponsorship package. Peter Sanu for JoyNews.
Children of school-going age in Buamasa in the West Mamprisi municipality of the Northeast region are facing persistent disruptions to their education during the rainy season due to absence of teachers' accommodation. Residents say the lack of teachers' bungalows makes it difficult for teachers to remain in the community when the rains intensify, often leading to prolonged school closures. As a result, pupils of the community's primary schools are left with no other choice than to go home. The following report has more.
At Buamasa in the rural northeast region, access to education has become increasingly difficult, not because children are unwilling to learn, but because the system is struggling to support them. With no accommodation facilities, teachers posted to Buamasa are compelled to live in nearby communities and commute daily to school. However, during the rainy season, heavy rains often render the roads impassable, forcing teachers to stay away for days or even weeks, disrupting academic work as classrooms are left empty without teachers. Community members have long raised concerns about the situation, warning that the conditions are negatively impacting academic performance and discouraging school attendance. Here is the chairman of the school's management committee.
Some of the teachers, because we don't have quarters here, they used to stay at somewhere. Some came from Walwali to here, and now some are staying at Pargu here. Before it is in raining time, they came in late. If there is raining, they don't come.
The head teacher of the school, Karim Hudu, also lamented.
If a teacher is living far away from the school, so anytime, most of them is having excuses, especially rainy season. When it's rain early in the morning, you pick your phone and call the head teacher because of the rain. He can't come by. If the teacher is staying here, I don't think that can happen.
The adverse impact of the situation on children of Buamasa is evident, as many struggle to express themselves in basic English. According to our checks, at least 20 children, mostly girls, have dropped out of school as a result of these challenges.
Because as a lower classes, if a teacher is absent and then the child comes and didn't see his teacher or her teacher in the class, he has to be roaming.
Even when school is in session, the difficulties persist. The school faces inadequate classroom space, forcing authorities to combine multiple classes into overcrowded rooms that are not conducive to learning.
When you combine two classes, because the sitting arrangement will be crowded. Right. And most of the time, because some of them are grown up, sitting three in the dual desk to write is not easy.
For kindergarten pupils, the situation is even more dire. With no desks available, many are forced to sit on the bare floor during lessons.
We don't have KG block. Sometimes we combine KG1, KG2 because the classrooms are not enough. The whole of the KG class, we don't have a single desk, so we do sit on the ground to learn.
This has been a long-standing concern for residents who say it continues to affect the future of children in the community. However, on Saturday, April 18, 2026, both have finally arrived in Boamasa after many years. The Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Tia Mahama Kabiru, cut the sod for the construction of a teachers' bungalow, a move expected to help retain teachers and ensure continuous learning even during the rains.
The only way you can attract and retain quality and qualified teachers is to provide a conducive environment for them to stay and be able to give the needed lessons or tuition to their children. So knowing that many teachers refuse posting to Boamasa because where to lay their head, where the teachers are going to lay their house has been a problem. And also following the fact that the community unanimously agree that they need this facility in order to attract teachers to the Boamasa community, I find it necessary to prioritize this particular issue.
Funded from his share of the common fund, the Member of Parliament urged the municipal assembly authorities to prioritize the project and avoid undue delays.
This is not money that is fully controlled by the MP. As a matter of fact, the MP is not even a signatory to the account that is holding the MP's money. The municipal chief executive, together with his bureaucrats, are those holding the money in trust for the MP and on behalf of the people of the Wale Wale constituency. So the only time I fear that the assembly will be reluctant, because I've had bad experience with them in my previous initiative. If they don't delay, if they don't sleep on their jobs, I don't think there's going to be any problem whatsoever.
Residents have welcomed the initiative, but say more needs to be done, including the provision of additional classrooms and desks. For now, the people of Boamasa remain hopeful that this intervention marks the beginning of improved conditions for teaching and learning in the community. Reporting from Boamasa in the West Mamprose municipality, Elias Sutanko for Joy News.
Let's still stay in northern Ghana because the Wa West District Assembly has commissioned 10 newly constructed boreholes to alleviate severe water shortages across various communities and at the Ghana National Fire Service station in Wechiao. The water intervention, funded through a dedicated 10% allocation of the District Assembly Common Fund, cost nearly led the commissioning tour, officially handing over the facilities to the various communities. JoyNews' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafik Salah reports.
Beneficiary communities who received 900 pump boreholes include Jagalo, Ponyamayiri, Yekorunteng, Nadezer, Diase, Pule, Loten, Workabo, and Dakwalteng. A 10 fully mechanized borehole was installed specifically for Wuchao Fire Station. The mechanized borehole at the Wuchao Fire Station comes as a major relief for the personnel. District Fire Officer ADO1 Memura Bayaba expressed profound gratitude, noting that the command had suffered for some time due to the water situation.
We have suffered for some time because of water situation, but thank be to God, assembly people have come to our aid and they have given us this project. We thank the district chief executive so much for his good works.
Addressing the gathering at the station, District Chief Executive for Wa West, Richard Wulu, revealed that the initiative followed a direct plea from the fire commander, emphasizing that the fire service needs water to execute its mandatory duties.
I thank the Member of Parliament for the collaborative efforts. In fact, when the issue came, I discussed with him. He indicated that there are a number of boreholes or number of communities that have submitted their proposals for us to consider them with boreholes. So while he was drilling boreholes in some other parts of the district, he encouraged me that we should mechanize this one right here for the fire service station. and today it has come to fruition.
Warwas Member of Parliament, Superintendent Retired Peter Lenchene Tubu, echoed this critical need and challenged the District Chief Executive to further support the station by allocating 20,000 Ghana cedis from the Common Fund to construct a shed for the fire engine, which currently sits exposed to temperatures of up to 38 degrees Celsius.
I will request the DCE to take 20,000 Ghana cedis from my account, my Common Fund account, and create a shed for the fire engine, so that at least when you pack it, the temperature as we speak now is about 38 degrees. You pack a fire engine outside with a temperature of 38 degrees, it will negatively affect the engine. And we all have cars, and I'm not sure any of us want to park your car outside just in the sun like that.
For the rural communities, the new boreholes marks an end to years of relying on contaminated streams. The Corontin Assembly member Manan Zumuru lamented that residents previously had to compete with animals for drinking water during dry season.
We are so grateful. Years back, these communities, they drink from streams, and during the dry season, sometimes they have to compete with animals to be able to get water to drink. Can see the District Chief Executive, upon our appeal to him on the need to get quality water for the people of Yokote.
At Workable, Assembly member Claudio Zerkuyore of the Sanyo electoral area praised DC Richard Wulu as a listening father who promptly responded to the 4-section community severe water shortages.
But I want to encourage the local people that the boreholes should be maintained by the community. It should be a key responsibility. There are some members. Responsibility is not to be maintaining boreholes, but there are some key responsibility is to lobby for borehole. The district assembly responsibility to what? To give fund for them to come and drill borehole, but the community responsibility is also to ensure that the borehole is being maintained.
To assure residents of their safety, Warwas District Engineer Abdul Razak Ibrahim confirmed that the contractor had the Ghana Water Company Limited conduct rigorous water quality testing on all 10 boreholes. DC Richard Wulu credited the success of the water projects to the government's decentralization policy, which now sees 80% of the District Assembly Common Fund transferred directly to a district, allowing them to tackle local problems financially. Superintendent Retired Peter Lenchene Tubu, addressing residents at Ponyamayiri, reiterated the importance of unity and partisan-free development, assuring the communities that more developmental projects are in the pipeline.
Politics is all about development. Partisan politics is not expected to be very violent. Partisan politics is expected to be the competition of ideas, trading of ideas for the benefit of the people. So continue to unite to push for the development of your community. The communal spirit of Ponyamayiri should continue to be improved upon. And I'm sure gradually, as the day goes by, you will see a growing Ponyamayiri.
While celebrating the water projects, community leaders used the occasion to appeal for further interventions, particularly the extension of the electricity grid and the rehabilitation of poor road networks. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Ponyamayiri.
Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has announced plans to urgently establish 3 operational bases for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat at the Western Region as part of intensified efforts to combat illegal mining. He explained that the initiative being undertaken in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and NIMOS is aimed at addressing the growing threat of illegal mining in the area.
During an engagement with the media, the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, indicated that significant steps have been taken to improve infrastructure and living conditions across the region since he assumed office. The minister outlined ongoing interventions to strengthen healthcare delivery in the region.
At my level, I have also initiated the ICU project, intensive care unit, at the Takrady Hospital. And that was motivated by the fact that across the region we do not have one. The closest anybody within the region can get to such a service is the central region regional hospital, what we normally call interbedding. The expectation is that by December this year, we should have the ICU running at the Takrady Hospital.
He also highlighted measures to enhance the education sector.
Education, there's also a lot happening through Get Fund. You know, Get Fund has been restructured, so now it has more resources to push down for the construction of, education facilities. And so across our secondary schools and tertiary institutions, we have lots of projects that are also ongoing.
On road infrastructure, the minister acknowledged the state of several road networks in the region, disclosing plans to rehabilitate them.
On the road front, I think there's a lot that is happening and more that is going to happen, between now and the end of the year. And we are excited as a people. We are excited that we have, of course, Oliver Twist will always ask for more, but at this stage, we are pretty happy. We are relieved that such works are happening, and when completed, I believe that it will boost the local economy.
Addressing the issue of illegal mining, he revealed that 3 operational bases for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, will be established in the region to combat the menace.
As we speak, we have agreed with NIMOS, of course, together with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, to have 3 bases for NIMOS within the region. 1 base will be in Amenfi East, another will be in Elembele, and the 3rd one will be in Ahantan West, to cater for all of these areas. So in Amenfi East, for example, you have Pristia Huni Valley, Detimo Combe, Pristia Huni Valley, Amenfi East itself, Amenfi Central, Amenfi West. And then the team that will be stationed in Elembele will take care of Elembele, Nzima East, and then Tako and Swahim. And then the 3rd team, which will be based in Ahantan West, will do the rest. Ahantan West, Poho, Wasa East, and then I believe that it will help in dealing with the menace.
From the Western region, Inathalia Kwanzaa's report read to you.
That's it for the pulse this evening. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.